Broadcasting from Atlanta, Georgia, this is The Brightside with Tekneshia.
A daily broadcast on real-life issues that will keep you motivated.
And now, here's your host, Tekneshia.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Brightside with Tekneshia. And I am your host, Tekneshia. But here with me, I have a special guest, and I know we've been talking about it probably for some time now, and you've been looking at it on my Facebook fan page. But, you know, there are other alternatives than just taking medicine all the time. And here with me to share those alternatives is Chris Kehler, and he is a quantum energy practitioner, a healer, who specializes in finding the trouble areas in the body and the stresses within that area by using the pendulum and chart method of dowsing. Don't understand all that? Well, he's going to explain all that to us. Do call in at 347-426-3751 with only intelligent questions, and the chat box will be open just for you. So, Chris, how are you doing today?
Hi, Tekneshia. I'm doing fantastic. How about yourself?
I am doing so wonderful. I'm glad to have you on today because this is interesting. You know, we always so used to going to the doctor, most of probably half of the population, and just getting treated, but now there are other alternatives that people have been practicing in other countries as well that we're not aware of. But, Chris, before we get into that, how did you get into this line of work? Because I know you've been in it for 5+ years now.
Yeah, it's an interesting story. It was about almost 9 years ago now that my first wife passed away. And when that happened, it did set the tone. It enabled me to be able to retire from what I was doing. And before I was doing this line of work, I was in the printing industry. I was doing that for about 30 years. So that was my trade. It was something that I really loved to do. But, you know, it was time for me to take a break. It was time to retire. I had helped my wife with her illness for a number of years, and I was a little beat. So, long story short, the old saying goes, one door closes, another door opens. So when I did retire, I needed something to do to keep my interest going. And I did fall into this alternative realm of healing, not by mistake or by chance, but I know that I was pushed forward into it by my spirit guides, by the universe that wanted me to fall into this. So I ended up meeting people who do this type of work, took a very big interest in it. As they say, the rest is basically history. From there, I've developed my own way of doing things, my own skills, and different connections within the universe, with heaven and with God and with the Son of God, to bring me to where I am today.
Well, that is a blessing, and I know that you don't just do it for the money. You do it because that's your calling to do it, and that's what a lot of people fail to do. When you love to do something, you do it for free. It doesn't matter what it is, and that's how I feel about my radio show. I do it because I love to talk to other people. I like to communicate. I want other people to know what's going on around them, around the world. You know, so it's an honor to have somebody who has that passion, who has this selfless act of wanting to just give back to everyone. So thank you, Chris, for that. Now, we're talking about quantum healing. What exactly is it, and how does it work?
There's a lot of philosophy, there's a lot of thought behind what is actually going on when there is healing that is happening. Now, there's a lot of different modalities. You know, everybody's heard about Reiki. There's quantum touch. There's the emotion code. There's EFT tapping. There's a lot of different ways that people know about, that people have heard about, and people have tried and had some success and not had success. The way that healing works at the quantum level, and when I say the word quantum, I'm meaning at the very smallest, minute level, which is a light photon or a light particle. So these light particles that are all around us, they surround us, the whole planet, they're all around us. They do have a level of consciousness. And that level of consciousness is connected to different wavelengths of energy. So we can consider that it's connected to the God of love and light. It is connected to Christ. It can also be connected to some types of dark demonic forces also that can have effect on our lives and on our health and on our bodies. But when you're using quantum energy at its pure light source form, it is basically the same thing as comparing the law of attraction. When you set out a thought, a desire, a want to create something within the law of attraction to bring it to you, That is, in fact, what you're doing is you're enacting the light photons to manifest and create something for you. So in all reality, that's what we're doing is we're using the power or the law of attraction to manifest healing within the body. Everything within your body is energy. It is light photons. It is different amounts of energy and light. When you use light to fix light, you're going to get a result. So ultimately, if you set the right intent, if you use the right way of doing it, and there is right and wrong ways of doing it, you can make changes within your body at the quantum level.
I guess, well, when you think about it, the law of attraction will work with your core beliefs, but it works best when you probably focus on achieving harmony. Would you agree, Chris?
Yeah, there's a lot of different mindsets to keep with it. If your intent is to achieve harmony and balance within the body, and quite often within the wording that I use to enact and to start the process, I will tell the energy to balance minerals within your body, to balance the chakra system. So if you put intent of balance and harmony into the intent, then that's what happens.
Right. I agree with you, Chris, on that. I sure do. Now, how important is meditation in achieving and maintaining your health?
Meditation is definitely a conversation to have. A lot of people feel that meditation is when you sit with your legs crossed and in the lotus position and you achieve this blankness within your mind, complete and total openness to bring in love and light and information and channelings and different things like that. What I find meditation it's more so what is your meditation. Now, when I meditate, my meditation is sitting in front of my pendulum with my charts and asking questions of my spirit to give me information. That is my meditation. For somebody else, their meditation could be reading a book. When you're reading a book, you're going off into another dimension and envisioning everything that's happening in the book. It all depends on what your meditation is, and meditation is very important. If you have a question to ask, that is quite often where you will receive the answer.
Right. And see, I didn't even think that. You know what? Come think of it, that does make sense. Because you would think of, like, yoga, doing all the and yeah. I would never have thought about meditating through a book, which is possibly true, yeah. Because I do go off a deep world, especially now that I'm reading 50 Shades of Grey. Yeah, I'm behind everybody. I don't want nobody to tell me, because one of my coworkers already, she read all three of them. I'm like, don't tell me. I just want to make it to the end of every last one of them. So I do be in my own little world. So, yeah, that does make sense, meditating through a book. Now, what aspects of contemporary lifestyles do you feel probably are most harmful to people's health?
Ultimately, if you lead a lifestyle, you know, the old saying, do unto others as you would have others do unto you. If you led a lifestyle of basically being honest, if you led a lifestyle of doing good for other people and being considerate of other people, showing love, compassion towards other people, that is going to put you in a very higher state of chi, a very higher state of vibration that will help you to bring in more manifestation and to bring in more peace into your life. When we talk about world peace, we have to think first about our own inner peace. By being a type of person that really focuses on the positive, is your glass half full or half empty, that type of thing, I think is very, very crucial to a lifestyle where you can be more spiritually open-minded towards the way you live your life.
I will have to say that is possibly so true. You know, I have heard that before. I discussed this with so many of my friends now. But in your line of work, Chris, what has really surprised you the most?
What has surprised me the most? First of all, the speed in which a healing can take place. It can be instantaneous. It can be within a few days. Now, what's really surprises me the most is lately. I'm always trying to improve the way I do my work and the way I find problems within the body. Now, ultimately, when I'm looking for a health problem within somebody, let's say you come in and you have the medical system calls fibromyalgia. So what I need to do is find out what is causing your fibromyalgia. So I'm not curing fibromyalgia. I'm trying to find the reason behind it. What you have to do when you're working spiritually, when you're working psychically like this to find the problem with a pendulum or whether it be muscle testing or whatever, you do need to find the spiritual or energetic component of what that health problem is. So there's always going to be some type of, let's see, either an entity attachment, some type of negative energy or vibration within your body at an etheric or astral level. And then there's also going to be the physical problem, whether it's a virus, a bacteria, parasites, heavy metals, whatever. So what I've been finding lately, it's kind of really opening my mind to what is deeper going on within the universe, is that we all, as humans, most of us, what I'm finding now is that we all have some type of secret within our soul, some type of energy that needs to be released as a veil to be able to see into the body and find the actual physical problem. And what I'm finding is it is very eye-opening and it is very almost eyebrow-raising as to some of the things that I do find. I'll give you an example. Yesterday I had somebody in my office. They had a problem where all the muscles in their body are just in complete spasm, complete pain within their body, and it's been like that for about 8-10 years. And this person has spent a good $60,000-$70,000 to help try and find the answer for this problem. And to no avail. She's come to see me, and what I did is I found that within her chakra system was the seventh seal within the book of Revelations. In the book of Revelations, it talks about God opening the seven seals, and her chakra system was the seventh seal. Now, when I saw that, I went like, whoa, wait a minute here. That sounds pretty far-fetched. But of course it does. And a lot of things I do find and tell people are very far-fetched. But it is a contributor. It is a part of the whole picture. So once I removed that seventh seal and I sent it to God, I gave it back to him because he wanted it. So I gave that to him. It then opened the door and removed all the veils that enabled me to go in and actually find the health problem. Started working with it, and all of a sudden she did start to feel some changes. So to me, that's been lately the biggest thing that I've found that is really kind of blowing me away and giving me that big aha moment. Now, there's a lot of other things that I do find on a universal level that, you know, it kind of shows me the way the universe operates and what connections we have. We have lots of connections with different planets, different solar systems, different dimensions, you name it. There's all these connections because we are, at the end of the day, all connected with everything.
That is so true. It's one big old universe. Now, I did watch your video on how you healed a man with, if I'm saying it correctly, sciatica. Did I say it correctly, Chris?
Sciatica.
Okay. See, I had it wrong. But it was amazing that he just stood there and here you put this, you use this quantum energy healing just to remove that. And it was told what was in his muscles just to go away. But did you ever find out, like, what was the root of his problem?
Ultimately, with anything with sciatica, with anything like that, is going to be a muscle spasm, putting pressure on a nerve and cutting off the energy, okay? So there is a medical way around it. But you need to know what is causing the spasm. What I did for him, because of where I did it, it was at a trade show, all I did is release the spasm. For him, there could have been a chance that it might have come back in a few days. But when I released the spasm, all of a sudden his sciatica went away and he felt a difference immediately. And when I'm using my energy tools, and we'll get into that a little later, it does reach a very deep level of the body. So when you make the intent to move whatever it is, it goes in at the very deepest level and does the job.
So, Chris, what other health problems does your modality of energy healing fix?
Oh, you know what? It really encompasses everything. Anything you can ever fathom and imagine within a health problem. Now, I work at the soul level to do soul clearings. I work at the emotional and mental levels to help people in those areas. I have helped a lot of people with depression. A lot of the big physical symptoms people go through, a lot of people have got diabetes. So I've been working a lot with that to help clear out sugars from the body, to find areas of infection in the pancreas or the insulin receptors, to clear all those things out. So diabetes is a big one. One of the biggest ones I do work on is cardiovascular problems, like heart problems, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and that type of thing. And what I do find within a lot of cardiovascular heart problems is that there is an abundance of calcium within the heart muscle, abundance of calcium building up within the veins and arteries. And what I've been finding is that calcium is a very, very big contributor to a lot of different health problems, only because, of, number one, of the abundance of calcium that we take into our diet. Number two, the mineral components within our bodies may not be sufficient to absorb the calcium into the bones and into the teeth and through the muscles as needed. Instead of absorbing into where it needs to go, it gets stored within the body. And if it gets stored at an excess, that causes another problem. I look deeply into nutritional values within the body, which could be a silica problem, could be a magnesium problem, could be a vitamin K2 problem, and then look to see and make sure that there's balances there to help find out why the person, first of all, has a heart problem with calcium, and then move out the calcium. And quite often within a day or two, a person feels an incredible amount of energy because their heart is now working properly. So high blood pressure and cardiovascular problems are very big. I've been helping people to quit sugar cravings. For a lot of people, we have sugar cravings. So I go deep into the whole aspect of why we have a sugar craving, which can be something to do within the pituitary gland or the thalamus or the hypothalamus in the brain not releasing enough serotonin. So when you eat carbohydrates, your body creates serotonin to feel good. Can also be a lot of entity attachment problems within different areas causing that sugar craving. You know, after one or two sessions, a person definitely feels a difference when they're around carbohydrates. They don't feel the need to eat carbohydrates. The sugar problems have been big. Cardiovascular problems have been big. Now, lately, also, a lot of skin problems, psoriasis, eczema, rosacea are very big problems. Now, if you have psoriasis or eczema, one or the other, where you have a big white cap of something on your elbows or on your knees, that in itself is more times than not, it's a calcium that is leaching out of the bones and coming through the skin. If you look at it, it's hard, it's white. It is a form of calcium. So then I go into the skeletal system and find out why calcium is leaching out of the bones and coming out through the skin. So quite often there's a correlation between something like that and also a bacteria, usually a herpes virus or a streptococcus bacteria that is a contributor also to that problem. So basically, Tekneshia, any problem whatsoever, no matter what it is, we can deal with it using the system that I developed with the charts that I have, with the tools that I use, and the intent that I use to deal with a problem. Now, I'm in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, and everybody listening to the show is not in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, so everybody's thinking, well, how do I get there? The work that I do, because it is energy, I do it on Skype, I do it on the telephone, and it's just as effective as you being in my office. I do have clientele all over the world, many people in the United States, specifically California, there's a lot of people. I got clients in Australia, the Netherlands, Russia, Germany, all over the world, the Middle East, you name it, I've got clients basically all over the world. You're never too far away from doing a session with me. Now, the sessions are 1 hour long, and we do lots of clearings. We start at the beginning and go to the end within what is the trouble areas in your body. You spend a good hour. You're able to talk to me. We can discuss things. We have enough time to do that. There's no waiting. If your appointment is at 8 a.m. Central Time, we start at 8 a.m. Central Time. If you're going to a doctor, you end up waiting 2 or 3 hours in the waiting room to see him for 5 minutes. With me, it's right on the top of the hour, and we do a full hour. payment is very simple. My sessions are only $55 a session. I want to make it very affordable for people because I know that most people with big health problems don't have a lot of money. And I need to make this available, and I just make enough money to, feed my family, to keep a roof over my head, and to put a little bit away. So I don't want to get extremely rich over this. Of course, I do need to support my family. That's how we do it. And that's the basics of it as far as what health problem could be worked on: arthritis, asthma, diabetes, migraines, cardiovascular issues. No matter what it is, we can find out the answer.
Oh, see, that's really good. I did check out your website, and anyone who is interested in getting help in these type of areas, you could check Chris out at www.chriskehler.net. And it is reasonable because when I looked, I said $55 per session. That's not bad, It's kind of like on the borderline, like if you don't have the money or you can't really afford it, it's still affordable. So I really like that point. And like we said in the beginning, Chris, this is just providing an alternative to mainstream Western practices. And even other countries, I guess we can include like Asian cultures and Chinese medicine. They incorporate acupuncture, herbal medicine, special diets. So these are things other people practice. And I have had other guests on who don't go to the doctor, who use all herbal medicines just to heal themselves. And it sounds weird to us because we're so caught up. See, we're into this media mainstream where we think we need this or that because, well, basically, as they always told me, you just don't know any better. And or sometimes you're ignorant or you're uneducated to other things or you're too afraid to want to try stuff. I might end up giving it a try, but I haven't. I never knock it. I didn't say doing what you do, Chris, is bad. I won't knock it. It's just I do depend on certain things to get myself better, So maybe I could try a different alternative. I don't knock anything, you won't know until you actually try it. So, hey.
Yeah, there's a lot of different modalities out there, a lot of different ways of doing things. Like you mentioned, acupuncture is very successful, herbs. Now, with all these things, you do also have to, research. It's not so much the modality, it's who you're working with. How reputable are they? How credible are they? Anybody can sell you a herb. Is that the right herb for you? Is this person got enough background and enough practice to know exactly what they're doing and talking about? I always tell people, it's not the modality, it's the person doing it. My type of work is not necessarily the only type of work that people should do. Of course, there's lots of other things. Whatever's going to work for you, that's what you go with, but always make sure that the practitioner is within the fit for what they're doing also.
Right. Because some people are not like you, Chris. They're out here to get a quick dollar, and that's about it. They don't care if you healed or not. So I do agree with you on that.
That's exactly it, yes.
Be careful. And anytime that you step into something like this with dealing with quantum healing energy, you have to just do your research. No one's saying, okay, do what Chris tells you to do or get into what he wants you to do, but do your research. If you're skeptical, just research about it. That's the bottom line about it. Anything that you want to know, just research. Now, I checked out something on your Twitter page, too. I found interesting. Instead of doing the ice challenge, you did healing with energy for the ALS.
Yeah. The ice challenge is a very good way to bring attention to it because, of course, it is something that needs to be addressed and taken care of. But my thought was, hey, you know what? Instead of dumping ice water on your head, how about we heal ALS instead of putting money towards it? So what I did is I said, here's my challenge. If you have ALS, I want you to call me, and I'm going to work on you for free and heal the disease. But because people are still within that mindset for the most part that you have to rely on Western medicine and allopathy, that people are like, I don't know. This guy seems like a witch doctor or something to me. I'm not going to go there. So, of course, nobody has called me on it, but at least, I put some awareness out there, some energy out there as instead of putting money into the coffers of the associations that are around it, let's heal the darn thing already and find out what's going on with ALS within people and actually heal it.
But yeah, I like you, Chris, because You're not forcing anything upon no one. I mean, to me, we already have a self-healing inside of us. It's just if you have to have faith and you have to believe in anything that you practice, you have to believe. See, this is all about believing. That's what I think it is. It's not dealing with voodoo, no black magic. This is not charm on TV or the witches of East End, whatever. But this is actually you have to have a belief. Because you could do this, but if you don't believe in it, it won't work. That's how I see it.
Well, I've had some people, normally if somebody's going to make an appointment with me, they're already open-minded enough to listen to what I have to say and go with what I have to say and go through the paces. Anybody who does not have an open mind to this, I don't want to see you because not that it's not going to work, but if something does work, you're going to think, oh, you know what, maybe it just fixed itself on its own anyway. But ultimately, I don't go looking for clientele. I put the information out there. If it resonates with you, if you want to try it, you call me, and then we work forward from there. But I never try to convert somebody from working with Western medicine into working with alternatives because, you know what, you're going to be banging your head against the wall, and it hurts after a while. I leave it all open to whoever wants to try it. You contact me instead of me trying to get to you, and then we go forward that way.
Right. That's why I said you're not forcing anyone to do anything. And and you know what? I like your point where you said you don't want to be bothered with anybody who's skeptical anyhow, because that's negative energy. If you don't believe, you're going to put that negative energy off on me, and that's something, I'm like you, Chris, I don't want to be involved with negative people in my area. If you don't want to be bothered with me and what I do, then I need you to go to the left or right field. But what we're going to do, we're going to take a short commercial break, and we're going to come back with Chris, talk about more quantum healing energy. And we also, if we can, get Chris to probably show us his performance on the line. So stay tuned. Do not touch that dial. We'll be right back after this.
There's only one station that will keep you happy. Blog Talk Radio. We're taking more of your calls at 347-426-3751. Stay tuned. We'll be back after this commercial break.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your basement. There's a pair of overalls that overall you're not so into anymore. A perfectly good laptop that hasn't seen your lap in months. And even more stuff, but still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed. And they're the stuff inside your stuff. Even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs. And it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Hi, it's Flint Lockwood here in Swallow Falls. My friends and I have just discovered some amazing living foodimals, but we've also discovered an urgent matter that needs our help. According to my calculations, 1 in 5 kids in America struggles with hunger. Our latest mission is to help solve hunger by teaming up with the Feeding America Network to get food to kids facing hunger in communities across the country.
Help Flint and the Feeding America Network of Food Banks get food to the people who need it in your community. Find your local Feeding America Food Bank at feedingamerica.org/hunger.
Together, we're Feeding America.
A message from Feeding America and the Ad Council.
All right, we're back with our lovely guest, Chris Kehler. We've been talking about quantum healing and everything, just all the different things that he could work on. And if you're skeptical, then don't try it. But nobody's forcing it upon you. This is another alternative to just healing yourself better, you know. But, Chris, if you don't mind, I would love for you to probably demonstrate this for us on the phone.
We're going to do 2 things. One of them is going to be a group effort. So anybody who's listening, and of course this is going to be on a podcast, so if you're listening to the recording or the podcast of this, you can still do it. The energy is going to be there. So what I want everybody to do is to stand up. And I'm standing up right now, so if you're listening, everybody please stand up. We'll give you 2 seconds. Okay, you're all standing now. what I want everybody to do is envision a 6-foot-tall copper rod within your right hand. So this copper rod is on the floor, and it's 6 feet tall. Now, on the top of that copper rod is a violet flame. Now, the violet flame is very important. The violet flame is very good to use to remove entity attachments and different types of negativity. So you're standing nice and tall, you got your eyes closed, you're envisioning this copper rod within your right hand, and at the top of it is a violet flame. I want you to take that copper rod, and I want you to raise your hand and smack it on the floor 5 times. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, what that is going to do is going to shake off any and all entity attachments on your body. So as you do that, it might take a minute or so or a few seconds. You might all of a sudden feel a shiver through your body. You might feel a release of something. You might feel an energy change within your body. That is a very good way to clear yourself on a daily basis of anything that might attach to you. A lot of people ask me about protecting yourself, and that's probably one of the best ways to do it. You take that violet flame on top of the copper rod and bang it on the floor, and sure enough, it will shake things off. What are the tools that I use? The basic tool I use, it's a pyramid. So the sacred geometry of a pyramid is a very strong energy. Now, this is a pyramid unlike any others. It has got 5 pyramids stacked on top of each other at right angles to create a geometry effect. It is loaded up with different quartz crystals, magnets, different types of minerals called shungite, and different other sacred geometry items. What I do is I hold this pyramid up to the phone, over the person's head, or up to the video camera on Skype. I make the intent, and then the energy I use goes into that person and goes in and does the corrections. So we're going to do a couple clearings with this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to intend that all of the stargates, wormholes, and portals within everyone's chakra system are closed, condemned, and collapsed. So we're going to do that, and I'm going to explain that in a second, what we just did. Closed, condemned, collapse. All stargates, portals, and wormholes within everyone's chakra system. Okay, so that is done. That's how quick it is. Now, what I just did there is everyone on the planet, their chakra system can be used by interdimensional beings to come in and out of the planet. Our chakra system is an energy system. Just like the sun is not just heat and light, the sun is also energy, and it is a large chakra. So by closing off that chakra system to any kind of traffic, that will relieve a lot of stress within your body. I've had a lot of people come see me who have minor heart attacks, and their heart is perfectly fine. But if that heart chakra is being used as a portal, it can cause a lot of stress within the body and then cause some reaction. So what I've been doing for all my clients, everyone I work with, is I close off the portals, the stargates, so that interdimensionals can't come in and out. When I did that, somebody might have felt a shiver through their body or an energy change or a shift or something very subtle. If you didn't feel anything at all, it doesn't matter. It still worked. Now, the next demonstration I'm going to do is I'm going to send a healing energy through the entire server, through the entire computer system. This energy is called the flame of the SWEF. Now, that is a specific energy that was sent to me by my guides, by the spiritual people I work with. Now, the flame of the SWEF is a combination of 2 different sources of light. The first one is the violet flame, which is what we used on the copper rod, and the second one is the diamond flame. So when you combine these 2 together, it creates something called the flame of the SWEF. So here's what we're going to do. Okay, we're going to intend to use the flame of the SWEF to heal and repair any and all areas within the listener's body that needs to be healed and repaired. Send the flame of the SWEF to heal and repair. Okay, this is going to take a few seconds. Okay, so that energy has been sent. And on my end, when I send the energy, I can feel it rushing through my body, through the pyramid, and going into the radio. Did you feel anything at all happening, Tekneshia?
I did. In my arm, my left arm was hurting a moment ago, and now it has stopped hurting because I usually get like a cramp from somewhere in my arm most of the time, and it's not even hurting anymore. Seriously, like it really feels better. And I
Beautiful.
I felt heated at first when you said take the rod and put your hand over the flame. My body just started feeling really hot. So,
okay.
I mean, I never...
Heat is a very good sensation. A lot of people, when I do this work, they will feel heat. They will feel a shiver. They'll feel tingling. They'll feel different things. But heat is a very good sign and is generally what happens. A lot of people will all of a sudden feel very tired, and that is a sign that something negative did get pulled out of your body.
Right, and I mean, I never have done this type of thing on the phone, but this is really real. I mean, you just have to really experience it for yourself. If anyone's listening today, all my listeners, audience, whoever, just experience it for yourself. It's really amazing. And I hope I can, Chris, after the show, I'll probably email you with some more information and things that I'm actually going through with my health and stuff.
I'd be happy to help you.
Yeah, thank you. Now, Chris, explain the sacred geometry tools you use for and their significance on healing.
There's a number of different tools that I do use. One of them is called a neutralization ring. So it looks like a basketball hoop with spikes within it that point inside. And if you go onto my website, there are pictures of the neutralization ring. I do sell these tools on my website. And what this tool does is it pulls out negative energy from your body. So why don't we do a quick demonstration with that one?
Okay.
So again, I'm going to get everybody to stand up.
All right.
Stand nice and straight with your feet shoulder width apart. So I'm going to take this ring and hold it over the phone. And what you're going to feel is a heavy pulling sensation within your legs, maybe your lower back. You might feel really off balance, or you might feel a tingle within your hands or somewhere within your body. So we'll give this a few seconds. And this is just basically pulling out different types of negativity, doing a general shaking of the tree, I call it, to loosen things up a little bit before we do a session. Let me know when you feel a heaviness or off balance.
Oh, I do feel it. My feet feel very heavy.
Yes, and that is a sign that there is some negative energy being pulled out of your body. This is one tool I do sell. I sell a smaller version of it, and they're only $50 a piece, and I mail them all over the world. And they work time and time again. You can use it on everything and everything. You can pull the negativity. You can have a seat now, everybody. We're done with that. You can pull out negativity out of your food, out of your plants, out of your water, out of your computer. Wherever there might be some kind of negative vibration, this tool will pull that out. And I sell probably 150 a month of these tools. And they're made by, all these tools are made by one specific person in Alberta, Canada. And his story is that he is the main person who is clearing the earth grid of all negative energies in order for the earth to go into its fifth dimension ascension. So that's what he does for a living. And he makes the tools and sells them to make money to support his work. Another tool I have is something called a Vesica Pisces. And this looks almost like a football made with pyramids and different other wires within it. And this tool is basically the symbolism of the feminine energy that is now within the planet. For the last millennia, we've been ruled by a masculine energy. Such brings on wars and that type of thing. Now it's changed to a feminine energy. Now anything that's a negative entity of a demonic source or anything of a dark source is of a male energy. So when we use a female energy against a male energy, of course the female wins, right? So we're going to do a demonstration with this one. Now, clearing that I do for everybody in the beginning is I remove what's called the Trinity, which is 3 demonic-type forces out of the soul. Now, everybody's a little different with what they have within them, so what I'm going to do is just to intend to remove that, whoever's personal Trinity that they have. So here we go. Let's do that. So we're going to use the violet flame and the red bull to cast out the Trinity from the soul. Cast out the Trinity and send it all to ether from everyone's soul. And that just released. So with that, you may have felt the same type of sensations, heat, cold, tingling, shivers, something like that. And that is the first veil to remove in order to find the absolute health problem. So those are the basic tools that I use. There's a few others that I use now and then, but those are the basic ones. The pyramid I love to use. It's got a beautiful energy to it. The Vesica Pisces is one that I like to use to remove negativity types of entities, and the neutralization ring is a very good use also.
See, this is really good though. But you have some of your people who are they're so attached into the Bible course, they might be like, They would probably give that. This sounds like black magic or something. They wouldn't probably go that way with that, especially with the grandmas and grandpas who really come from old school rituals and everything. They'll be like, no, that don't sound right, son. But I was thinking about what the Bible, because in the Bible it didn't even mention about mental illness, so these people didn't even know what they were encountering back then, I don't think. So everything was mostly probably demon possession or what so, because the Bible, it does not really have a concept of mental illness in the sense we have it today. There are, as far as I know, no stories in the Bible that clearly talk about the mentally ill. Now, in one of your interviews, too, Chris, you mentioned about ADHD. If your child has ADHD, they have the devil in them. And my twin girls, they were diagnosed to have that.
The only way you can really know is by working psychically or knowing what to look for. So my pendulum will tell me exactly what the connection is, where it is, what it is, and then I just keep on moving it out, moving it out, moving it out. I am working with a child with autism in the States, and we removed all the negative stuff out. And then I found that his whole problem is revolving around a copper toxicity within his brain. His brain isn't firing properly. So there again, removing out the negative stuff, getting it out of the way, exposes the physical problem. So ultimately, to know that what is in there, you have to be able to know what to look for, how to look for it, and how to get rid of it.
Right. Well, the way I get rid of it, I try not to listen to it. Sure, the doctor told me that, but that's just your opinion. And, of course, ADHD to me is a man-made thing. It's something brought up. I feel like if you don't believe in it, then it won't happen, just the same way as depression. These are illnesses that are brought about because this is what we choose to believe in. If you feel that you're bipolar, then you will be bipolar. I'm not going to put my daughters on any medicine. They're doing fine in school. They can comprehend very well. They just choose at 8 years old to do like they want to do because they're 8. Every child is mostly active.
Exactly.
Right. I hope in one way I'm not trying to prevent it because then, years later they do something. Oh, I should have put them on medicine, but at the same time, that medicine made them sluggish. So bump that, Chris. They're not going on that. I don't follow every dog because you say holler. No, I'm not going to do that. I mean, the doctor have prescribed that. You could put them on Ritalin. No, ma'am. They're not even. They're fine. I'm going to let them act just the way they want to act at 8. I will discipline when I need to discipline them, and we will be just fine. Right. So that's my alternative.
Amen to that.
Right. And, because I was thinking of that when we were talking about the demon possessed, of the Bible and stuff. Of course, there are, cases of people described as demon possessed and having an evil spirit, and many have speculated that these people who would today be described as having mental illness. For example, the demon called Legion in Mark 5:1-20 and Luke 4:31-37, and then the Philippine slave girl in Acts 16. So I guess whether we consider this a real demon or a mental illness, one thing that all these stories have in common is that after the demon has left, no blame is attached to that person. And we don't read that the people have to repent or are forgiven. We could reasonably infer that they are not responsible for what they have done.
Basically, yes, they're not responsible because it is not of them.
Right.
What I wanted to touch on quickly, in the news right now, there's a lot of talk about Ebola within Western Africa. And this morning I also heard that they found the first case within Dallas, Texas in the States. With my work, what I can do is I can put an energy within a video. And I have about 150 videos on YouTube that you can access and get different energies and learn more about the work I'm doing. But what I've done is I made a video for a healing energy for Ebola. So if you know of anybody who is within Western Africa, anybody at all who might have come into contact, anybody at all who might have this terrible virus, if they watch this video, there's a very good chance that it will help the Ebola. It'll get rid of it. It'll kill it. So I just want to make sure everybody knows about this video. Go on my YouTube channel. Go onto YouTube/Chris Kehler and look for mass healing before mass graves. And there is some very powerful energies in there that will help people with Ebola.
Why, it's so scary just to know that it is here. What's even scarier is the fact that, not even getting off the subject, but, okay, you find this cure to cure everyone else in America. You cured the other two people. But at the same time, what about the ones in these African countries? Why is it so hard to really to cure them? That's what I don't understand. Why is it being helped? But I guess that'd be another interesting topic to really focus on. But it is. This is getting real scary. It makes you feel like we're really in the times of Revelation now. We're at the end of we're in that part of the Bible when you really get into it and all this stuff. That's why you got to be prayed up, because when it comes, the devil, he going to come back. He going to be disguised. And only the true believer's going to know that he's disguised. So that's all I have to say. Just stay prayed up. I mean, all this, we know that they prepared to cure this, but that's my basic answer, Chris, is just to stay prayed up, as I always mention in my show, because there's no other answer for anything else but to stay prayed up.
Exactly. Praying is a very easy thing to do, and everybody prays. It's just like meditation. Everybody prays in their own different way. If you make the intent for something good to happen through prayer, through meditation, through whatever, that is what is needed. There's Ebola. There's enterovirus is very big right now. What a lot of the conspiracy theorists say is that the countries are looking at creating a military state where everything is quarantined and you can't leave your house. I don't buy into conspiracy. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but you can certainly see that there is something happening that, with Ebola out there, you're quarantined, your town, you can't go anywhere in your town, and that way they can have control over you. But I'm not saying that's the way it is, but it sure is looking to that direction where they're trying to use biological warfare or different strains of virus and bacteria to lower the population or to have some type of control. We can take control back by being proactive and doing something positive against it, spreading the news, spreading the education that there are things like the work that I do and the work that other people do to help with this type of problem instead of just waiting for a miracle pill to come around.
Mm-hmm. I do agree with you. We can't wait around for it. It's not like in the movies. It's not like somebody going to say, I got the answer to it. That's why I go back to it. Just stay prayed up, because it's getting really serious. I mean, it's just so much going on. It does scare you. You just want to go outside your house. Like, you'd be afraid. I even heard one of my coworkers say she was afraid to even be around somebody who's coming from another country. Like, this is really hitting home now, Chris. It's really touching bases.
It does invoke fear within us when all this stuff happens. It does create a conspiracy theory about things, and you really have to take a big, deep breath and get past the fear, get past the conspiracy. In North America, in Canada, they went on a big fear campaign about H1N1, that everybody's going to get it and die. and almost nobody got it, and they're just trying to create a fear component within us.
I say out there, anybody, Liberia, wherever you are, do not despair. Just need the faith, and all of us around here come together as a community. Let's pray together, stay together. Let's be focused, because I feel like this is part of, well, as we all say, you got to have evil in order to have good too. Good and evil got to be together. It's just evil. I think this is where it comes in at. This is the devil himself. These diseases are.
That's exactly it. Now, what I want to do before we close the show is I want to run some healing energies to kill Ebola within anybody who's listening, and this is also going to filter out into the masses. So we're going to do that right now, okay? Here we go. Let's go into everyone's blood, bone marrow, and entire body. Neutralize, eliminate, and terminate Ebola within everyone listening, and everyone within the vicinity of this broadcast. Neutralize, eliminate, kill, and terminate the Ebola virus within everyone, entire planet, all human beings. There we go. Very strong energy just went through there. So with the will of God, this is going to, as the Muslims say, inshallah, God willing, this is going to create a good healing effect.
Right. And Father God, just watch over everyone, our guest Chris, his family, my family, anyone else out there. Watch over their family, Lord Jesus, because you said you would not let no one come upon us and destroy us. So just watch over us, God, Father, as we go through our daily lives. Anyone who's at work right now, watch over them. The ones who are pregnant right now, who haven't even let their child come through, watch over them too, Lord, Father. Amen, because we definitely need it. And before I get off the air, Chris, I just wanted to say I thank you so much for giving us this message today. It was very insightful. We needed this energy.
You're so welcome. It was my pleasure to be able to deliver it.
Thank you, Chris. You and your family stay blessed.
And bless you.
Thank you. My fellow listeners and audience, the truth for the day from my friend Mary Ellen is turn your energy inward to seek personal awareness. Today, begin by feeling introspective, examining your life by looking within. Unplug from the world, withdrawing your energy from those many connections. This could be relationships, electronics, or other worldly connections that drain you. Feel a sense of distance. This will give you the inner perspective you need to find your answers. As you find these answers, reconnect to life one thing at a time. By following this transition and allowing yourself to go within, disconnect, you can find awareness and answers you are seeking. Today, give yourself the freedom and the time to find awareness you seek. Enjoy the day. Please, everyone, my ladies, even men, please go make sure you get examined. And because it's really serious, it hits home. And also check your heart out. Just put your health before anything else, because your job will still be there. Anything else will be there, but you won't. If you don't get yourself checked out, you won't be there, and you need to be strong for your family. I'm speaking to you personally because I know someone out there is listening who is a parent. Get yourself seen today. That's all I have to say. Stay prayed up, and you enjoy your day. Don't let anyone take your joy from you. God bless you, and I will see you very soon.
Thank you for tuning in to The Brightside with Tekneshia.
Come back daily from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern.
God bless.